Hello and welcome to this special holiday edition of Story Game Sojourn. I'm Samuel James, and today I'm joined by...
Kyle Berger. I swear I'm the same person.
Berger, you seem to have caught something true to the holiday form of staying inside and spreading germs and love and cheer.
It's true. I've moved house to a new apartment. I've got a new job, and I did not bring all my pads for my recording area. So my mic sounds different. My voice sounds different. But I swear, I'm the same homunculus grown in a tube for this podcast.
Yes, we're all very thrilled. It's been a minute since we've done one of these, but we just figure, you know what? It's the cozy season. Nothing quite says cozy like a nice, sweater vest, right? Perhaps a green sweater vest and a red bow tie. Perhaps a long white sleeve underneath. If you are of the Wallace variety, that's what you look like. Because today we're doing Wallace and Gromit.
And if you're wearing Jack Nothing in your birthday suit, you might be of the Gromit persuasion.
Yes, it's the classic claymation crew. There's actually, you know what, Burger? I was just thinking about this for all the Wallace and Gromit content out there. There's only what, 3 or 4 short films. They're probably like 30, 40 minutes. There's one or maybe two now full-length feature films, and
Mhm.
that's it, right? They never had like a long-standing TV show or I don't know, a comic run. I have no idea. Like the franchise that is Wallace and Gromit seems seriously undertapped.
I mean, it's because, what little they have is absolute fire.
This is true. This is true. Yeah. Yep. There's so much to love about it. Okay, so today we're gonna play a story game set in the universe of Wallace and Gromit. So here's how that works. We're gonna start with a scenario. And then we're going to see what happens next. We have no turn order. We're just going to go back and forth. Oh, back and forth implies a turn order. We're going to keep going and just build on each other's ideas. And then we wrap things up when the scenario ends. So our scenario today, designed by me, chosen by Berger himself, Wallace designs a gift wrapping robot to help with presents this year. It's a touchy, zealous thing, really. And that's it. That's all we have to go with.
It's a real shame that my voice is so fricked because now I can't do my beautiful impression of Wallace. It's gonna sound scary.
Yeah. Yeah, how do we open here, Burger, today? If there's a line that Wallace has to bring us into the Christmas spirit, is there what are we going with?
I think maybe we just open with a phone, sitting on a kitchen table. Um, you know,
Claymation. You gotta
of
remember,
course,
everyone's
of
I mean, in your
course.
imagination, everything is claymation. Okay, all right.
It's a
Keep going.
visual medium, so maybe Wallace is asleep upstairs, and there's a phone sitting on the table, kitchen table, big window in their kitchen. You see sort of snow in the beautiful little countryside, British countryside, or in town. I forget where they live exactly, but you see snow, you see children sledding down hills, and then we sort of pan out of there to the window, to the kitchen, to the table, to a phone that is sitting on the table. And with that, the phone starts ringing. Um, we hear upstairs, we hear, oh, no. A bit of British noises. And then we, we hear a switch get pulled, or we see a switch get pulled. And we hear a bunch of noises as suddenly a large mechanical hand just zips down from the ceiling and grabs this phone. Um, Pulling it into a series of tubes, um, and as this goes on, we see the phone's line gets too short. Obviously, there's not enough phone wire to pull the receiver from the phone itself all the way up to where it's being taken. But
Yes.
but through this process, we see the Rube Goldberg machine chop the line and then rewire the line with a bit of extension in between for no other purpose than to carry it further than it is. Of course, it'll have to undo that when it brings it back, but that's just
Right.
sort of that's sort of the nature of the machines. The machine.
Yeah,
Tech
Wallace
the
is quite he's got quite the crutch on technology, doesn't he? And then he always imagines that there's some solution that involves creating something filled with gizmos and gadgets and whirring bots and steam.
Yeah, it's a
So
roundabout way of doing it, but he always gets it done.
yes, it's a very, very roundabout way. And it gets all the way to his bed, right? Wallace sits
Yeah,
up
yeah.
and he takes it.
eventually comes out of a tube right next to Wallace's bed. He's sitting there. As he sort of pulls this receiver up to his ear, Gromit walks in with an apron, delivering him breakfast in bed.
Yeah, I like that 'cause Gromit is always there to help Wallace out, right?
Yeah,
He's like
that's his,
part
that's his,
he's like dog, but he's also part maid, part butler, part I mean, he's got so so
he's,
many roles. Gromit wears many hats.
he's Batman.
He's he's
I
he's
mean that in the
Batman.
traditional sense, the old sense, not he's not a caped crusader.
Sure. Yes. Yeah,
But
yeah.
in any case, he pulls the receiver finally to his ear and he says, "Hello."
That's good. That's good. So is this is where we introduce something that would necessitate building a gift wrapping robot, or are we maybe a bit distanced from this problem yet?
No, I see no reason not to. This could be a lady down at town hall who is requesting that they have so many presents and so little time to wrap them in before Christmas hits, and the Girl Scouts they've gotten to help them wrap just aren't hacking it anymore. I don't know if Britain has Girl Scouts.
How do they raise up young men and women in order to take the role of presidency? Oh crap, they don't have presidents either.
They
Oh
have
no.
well, they definitely have scouts of some variety or the other because I know Peter Kemp and James Orwell had, like, weird, like, adolescent officers training programs that they went to and had certs for when they went to fight in the Spanish Civil War, but, um,
I love that that's your connection to knowing whether or not they have Boy Scouts is like this obscure history piece. Nice.
but in any case, yeah, let's say, yeah, the Girl Scouts are there, but they just we don't have the help that we need to get this done, and despite being warned by her advisors and her cabinet, the mayor has decided to call on Wallace.
Because the more obscure, right, and bizarre the problem, the more obscure and bizarre the man required to fill that niche, right? Or
Exactly,
niche,
exactly.
depending on how you like that. Yeah, so I think Wallace is the man for the job. Um, I like this for 2 reasons. One is that Wallace is always doing problems that are created within his house. So I like that something from outside the world is demanding Wallace do something is very
That's
funny to
true.
me.
I
Secondly, I don't think I've ever seen him interact with children.
Oh, that's a good point.
It's always machines and animals and then, like, grown adults, right? I've
Mhm.
never seen Wallace with a child, and
It's 'cause
I don't
he has the child in his heart.
oh, this could be oh, yeah, maybe they'll get along just swimmingly just because of that fact.
But anywho, yeah, she calls, she asks for his help, he says, "Oh, smashing," or Or no, maybe maybe Wallace at first tries to get out of it. He says, "Oh, I don't know. I've got a busy schedule," and he looks at like a schedule, a timetable for the day, and it's just
Right,
like
which Gromit
eating
is holding
cheese.
very
It's eating
helpful.
cheese and taking naps. And like as he's looking at it, he says, "Oh, I'm booked full." Grom's sitting there shaking his head like, "No, you're not. No, you're not. You can help these people. No, you're not, you silly little man."
Yeah, that's good, that's good. Okay, so they say actually, what they're looking for is they just need help, right? They're looking for
Yeah.
volunteers, but Wallace maybe takes this as a sign to invent something, right? As
Oh,
as
yeah,
Wallace would.
maybe they're not seeking out Wallace himself. Maybe this is a call that the mayor has made to, like, every house in the village.
Right, it's
Um
just, "Can you put in some time, some volunteer hours? It's the Christmas season, here's a way to give back to your community."
Mhm.
Right? And Wallace is like, "Yes, after I do all these things on my list and invent something to solve your problem for you."
Yes, of course, of course.
I like this. Let's see. When it comes to holiday stories, I
Mhm.
wonder if there's a funny way to incorporate some of our favorite holiday, um, bedtime story, that kind of stuff. Burger, what's your favorite?
I don't know what you mean.
You have a favorite, like, I don't know, Christmas time, story piece that you like?
Oh, I mean, I like watching the Polar Express.
Polar Express. I don't know. Is there
Have
a
you
way to
ever watched the
incorporate
Polar?
I have watched the Polar
Oh,
Express. It's been a long time,
oh god.
but the Tom Hanks magic is certainly there. That's when they started motion capture, right? I mean, I know we're way off
It
track at this
yeah,
point,
very
but
uncanny valley, very Monster House looking film.
yeah. Monster House looking film is right. Yeah, that's a good one. I wonder if there's a tie back we could do to Polar Express at some point, but that's neither here nor
But
there.
yeah, no, I don't think that's what you were asking.
No, that
I
is what I was asking. I'm curious if there's a way we could influence or inject some of these influences. Mine is, Muppets Christmas Carol.
I
That's a
like
fun
that.
one.
I like that Fozzie becomes a vagrant pickpocket without Kermit in his life.
Yeah, that does work, doesn't it? I like that, Michael Caine plays it serious. It's very funny to me.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Grim determination. Okay, so, gift wrapping robot. I think Wallace is on it, right? He's
Yeah.
gonna start that immediately. Um, he, of course, eats his breakfast, and then he and Gromit are inventing stuff. Now, they don't spend that much time on the actual making unless there is some gimmick or goof involved in the actual making of the invention. So what do you think? Is there some obstacle or bump along the way to inventing the robot?
I'd say no. You can probably just hit at this point, the opening has been like what, 3 minutes long answering this phone. So at this point, you just sort of hit him with the title. You know, Wallace and Gromit, A Very Merry Christmas, or
Yeah.
but you know, while you hit him with the title crawl, that's when you hit him with the opening theme, dun 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 dun, and that's when you know you don't need to actually involve yourself in the inventing, but you can see him like sort of wrenching something.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Uh,
always love those, like, the slow shots across, like, all of the wrenches and the
yeah.
little screws and all of that he's putting together in gears and gizmos into, like, some bot, right?
Yeah, yeah, and you see, like, Wallace is down on the bench. He's, you know, wrenching something with a comedically large, like, Allen wrench, and then you pan up to the ceiling, and Gromit's there hanging upside down in a welding mask, and he's soldering something. You can't really
Right.
see it, but, um
Well, Gromit always has, like, the dangerous tasks involved with these kinds of things,
oh,
doesn't
of
he?
course he does. You can't trust Wallace. I mean, you can, but, you know, he doesn't because you know, he doesn't want him to hurt himself.
Right, right. Okay, this gift wrapping robot. I have seen so there's the special with the wrong trousers. I don't know if you've seen this one where
Mhm.
it's just like the bottom half of a robot, I guess, of a humanoid robot. It's just the legs,
Yeah.
and he uses that for I don't know. I think what ends up being used in a heist, right, with the penguin. But anyways, the wrong trousers, like that robot is just the bottom. I'm curious what this gift wrapping robot looks like. Um, because it's gotta have hands in order to
Mhm.
wrap, right? Is this where we go kind of spidery? It's got multiple like arms, and it's kinda got this like servo arm situation.
Oh, yeah, I mean, yeah, maybe like a sort of oval body, egg-shaped body, 8 legs, and maybe each of the legs has a instead of a robotic arm or it has robotic limbs, but the actual hands on the ends are like photorealistic human hands. Just just look very or the white gloves, the classic, the
Oh,
robot
okay,
has a
okay.
white gloved hand. Um, at the
I
end,
like that, I like
that's
that.
easier to claymate.
Alright, so we've already set up something with Wallace, which I think is an important theme for him, is that
Mhm.
his technology involves, like, the least efficient way to do it. Um, what's the least efficient way to wrap something?
Oh, see, I was maybe going towards maybe, once he gets there, I was maybe thinking about the Girl Scouts. Maybe the robot wraps it really well, but the Girl Scouts hate this robot, because it doesn't
Ah.
match the wrapping paper and the ribbons correctly. Like, it's always, like, weird off colors.
Ooh,
Um,
yeah, it's got no aesthetics
it
to it, and of course,
yeah, it's
Wallace
like
doesn't care.
yeah, it's colorblind. And the
Oh,
Girl Scouts are
good.
maybe really resentful of this fact, and maybe it's, like, wrapping it, like, sort of strangely, and maybe, I don't know, they got, like, sort of weird unionist tendencies, they don't want automation replacing their jobs.
The Luddite Girl Scouts is
Yeah,
not the direction I thought this prompt was going in, but I like
it's
it.
perfect, the reveal.
I I'd like too that it's maybe too good at its job, So
Mhm.
not only is aesthetically poor in that it's like mismatching colors and putting like ribbons that don't like it's cutting, turquoise ribbons with purple wrapping paper and doing all sorts of weird stuff, right?
Yeah.
It's also then I like the white gloved hands holding like a roller, like a paint roller or a paintbrush and like
Oh.
pasting glue onto these
Oh, yeah,
presents.
yeah.
And so now it's not only like looking making them look very ugly, it is putting them on in just the most picture perfect way, which of course has nothing to do with taking the wrapping off. Right? So
Oh,
there's like
yeah,
a
yeah,
total
it's like
mismatch of purpose.
oh, yeah, it's wrapping them to be never unwrapped. It's gluing
Yes.
over. It's like when food, photography people, like, they, like, paint the food with, like, you know,
Yeah,
oils and
inedible water
stuff.
droplets,
Yeah, all this
right?
unedible chemicals to make it look good for their photo shoots, for the longevity of their photo shoots, but you couldn't eat that. So, yeah, no,
Right.
I like that as well, the robot, it's just wrapping them up,
And
locking them
gluing
down.
them down. Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is good. This is good. Okay. So the thing has been created. Wallace gives it the go ahead. And I think they ship it off in a big box. Maybe there's like this Wallace has this flair for theatrics, and so the robot itself is wrapped in a giant box, and
Mm,
we smash cut to the wrapping party, which
yeah, the
has all
mayor.
of these, yeah, it has the mayor, it has all of these volunteers that are here, and of course the lovely troop of Girl Scouts that are there, and like putting stuff together, getting out the scissors and the ribbons and the papers, and it's like all on these big long tables, right?
Mhm.
And then Wallace comes in pushing this. No, 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 no. I like this better. Gromit has like a huge like it's like truck that he like dumps this big old box with the red wrapping paper and huge ribbon. The ribbon comes undone. The like everyone kind of stops. They were all in the middle of doing all
Yeah.
this and being happy and cheerful, and then comes the beast.
Oh, yeah, and are we saying that Gromit delivers it in the truck, and the reason maybe Wallace wanted to build the robot is because he didn't wanna get out of bed afterwards, so he goes back to bed because his schedule's
Yeah.
packed. So he
Yes.
doesn't actually show up to see the initial reaction, it's just Gromit dropping it off in a big truck, and then
Wait, so this is gonna be a horror film for all of the people involved, and then Wallace and Gromit are just gonna like, salute and walk away. No, no,
well, no,
no.
no,
Gromit's
like,
staying here.
Gromit's
Gromit's gonna deal with
staying,
this.
because this is the part where Wallace is obtuse to the fact that Gromit is having a frickin' a battle of wits with something,
Yes.
um, and Gromit sees, like, obviously, it starts sort of slow, the robot's just sort of aesthetically mismatching ribbons and wrapping, all the Girl Scouts' eyes narrow in disgust,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
then,
yeah.
yeah, it starts gluing things over, and, Gromit is sort of just chilling, watching at first, maybe in the corner reading a newspaper, but
He
then he
has to be reading a
also
newspaper with
yeah,
his tea. Yep, drinking away. I love it.
but then, yeah, as things get worse and worse, Gromit begins trying to stop the robot, but he's found that he's lost control.
This is good. This is good. I like that. I like too a shot of you got three elements, right? Gromit. Gromit on top of a truck in like he's sunbathing more or less with the newspaper and drinking his tea. You have the robot that's doing all of the painting the glue onto these presents and wrapping things up. And then you just like pan over like it's like there's far and a long way on the very far end of the table is everyone else who's just staring at this giant monstrosity, right?
Yeah, yeah. Um, and eventually, like, this is where we can have sort of a prolonged sequence of just it getting worse and worse, and basically just ending with like Gromit in like full like back and forth, back and forth. He's trying to like fix the mistakes that the robot's making, and then the robot like doesn't like that he's fixing it, so it, like grabs him, and there's like a back and forth, sort of a cat and mouse. People around them are getting nervous. Um,
Right.
and like finally it like this sequence maybe crescendos with just a massive like not explosion, like the robot's still there, everyone's still there, but it's like it just sort of crescendos with um maybe like the robot just straight up hucking Gromit out of a window or something to that degree, and we
I
sort of leave it there.
I like too that it's maybe since nobody's feeding it gifts anymore, like it's so efficient, right? It
Yeah.
finishes right quick and then starts wrapping other things, right? So it
Oh,
starts
yeah.
wrapping the table and then maybe it's like just grabbing other things and then it wraps the truck. I'm
Yep.
not gonna have it wrap a person quite
Oh,
yet.
I
We
don't
we don't
you know
we don't need the
yeah, I
stakes
mean,
there yet.
yeah, yeah. But no, I feel like that's definitely down the pipe. Because now I feel like after it throws Gromit out the window, we smash cut to Wallace at home, and he's been enjoying a wonderful, quiet afternoon and, eating cheese, napping, doing whatever he wants, and that's when he sort of looks at his watch, um, or, he looks at the clock on the wall, sees that's too far away, hits a weird button, and has it, like, spring out right next to his face.
Yeah,
And then,
right.
then he retracts it again, but he sees the time and he says, "Oh my
What
goodness."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like it, but, I would like to add some sort of holiday-y element. One of those
Yeah.
being, loneliness.
Oh, you think.
'Cause 'cause I
Oh,
think I
yeah,
think
he sat there and was trying to enjoy himself, but he was actually
right.
getting kinda yeah,
And that 'cause now everything's perfect, right? Wallace is in bed or eating crackers or whatever, and he's, like, looked around and, there's no one else here. And maybe we just kinda linger on that shot. It's
yeah,
very cozy, but also he's all alone. And
yeah,
it's Christmas season.
and Gromit should have been back an hour ago, and it's getting
Yeah,
dark. What's going
yeah,
on?
there we go. I like the getting dark. Yes, 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 yes.
And then
Um,
we,
Go
um
ahead.
oh, wait, sorry, he puts his coat on, he says, "I better go check. I better go see what's going on down at the town hall."
That's good. I like it. You could even have an Achilles in his tent where we just leave him without even saying that he's gonna go find Gromit. He's just kinda worried.
Mhm. Um, and yeah, and then I feel like at this point, my personal opinion is that this is when we open up the true. This is when it turns into a horror movie, not a horror movie, but he's sort
Right.
of like like the town is empty. The entire town is empty.
Oh, wait, hold on. I like this. Can we follow Wallace to the aftermath of this robot?
Exactly.
Okay.
That's sort of what I was
Okay,
getting
great,
at.
great, great, great. Yeah, 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 yeah. He okay, so his house is untouched for some reason. We'll get to
Yeah.
that. Maybe
Yeah.
there's an explanation, but he starts looking around and everything's wrapped. And
Yeah.
there's this eerie quiet.
Yeah.
And he's
Everyone
looking
is.
around. And maybe this kind of emphasizes the solitude of Wallace, who's like,
Yeah.
I thought I just wanted to be alone. My schedule was full. I didn't really want to volunteer and help with this thing. And now it's too quiet.
And, yeah, no, because it can be assumed that the mayor called everyone in the village to do this. So, like, everyone is already at the sort of mayoral hall. So at
Yes.
first, he doesn't seem that perturbed by it, but it's sort of like eerie.
Yeah, maybe we as the audience can see that everything is wrapped, but, like, Wallace doesn't really notice, right?
Oh
He
yeah,
just, like,
yeah,
sees his mailbox, which is completely wrapped in, like, purple and yellow,
yeah,
wrapping
yeah,
paper, and he looks across the street and he sees, like, the neighbor's dog, which is also wrapped.
yeah.
And then and then there's the car, the neighbor's car, which is also wrapped in all sorts of stuff and has, like, glitter and a giant bow on top, right?
And
Um,
yeah, as he
Go
gets
ahead.
closer to the hall, yeah, it's darker. All the street lights have been wrapped, so it's
Yeah.
like all the lights in the town are like weird purple, red, green hues because they're wrapped in paper and still sort of
Yes.
shining out.
Yeah,
Uh,
I like it. I like it. So there's like the coloring is off. I think at this point Wallace fetches a flashlight because if we're gonna have dark and horror,
mhm,
kind of Christmas gone askew, I think we need a flashlight.
um,
Lad, are you out
lad,
there, Gromit? And now he's like searching the night, right?
mhm. And at this point, he like we can get up to the town hall itself. And at this point, it's basically like what I'm sort of hammering towards or angling towards is this is going to basically be like an alien-esque movie. The mayor and most of the people in the town have been cocooned in
Yes.
the wrapping hall.
Yes, we kinda got a Hobbit situation, right? Where in the
Yeah,
Mirkwood, where the spiders have wrapped up everybody. Um, this is an interesting twist on the usual Wallace and Gromit formula because Gromit is usually here to save the day, but in this case, we're following Wallace.
it's true. But it is sort of in line because Wallace and Gromit do spooky sometimes. Like
Oh, yeah, no,
Curse of
absolutely.
the Were Rabbit is actually quite a frightening film for a child.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, absolutely. Okay, so we're getting closer to this, and yeah, everyone's been wrapped, cocooned, and then this is how we're opening the doors to town hall, right? Wallace is peeking in, and he's got his flashlight, um, and then yeah, he sees that everything has been wrapped: the tables, the lights, the fixtures, um, all the gifts, and there's just like a giant mountain. Actually, yeah, let's fill this room completely with presents.
Yeah. Um, and yeah, no, this is, and we don't see Gromit. Gromit is MIA as of now. We don't see any Girl Scouts either. Um, we just see, yeah, almost everyone in the town, including the mayor, has been cocooned. And maybe at this point, Wallace walks up to one of the cocoons that's like shaking and like opens the face area and sees that it's the mayor.
Ooh.
Um, and the mayor, she's like sitting here like, oh my goodness, Mr. Wallace.
Yes, that's good.
um, yeah, Mr. Wallace. Oh, I don't know what went wrong. The robot you sent, it was horrible. He says, oh dear.
Oh, yes, exactly. I do like an "Oh dear" from Wallace. Do we know where Gromit is, or is it just the mayor that we
um,
see?
Well, yeah, still MIA. At this point, I would say we enter a sequence where the robot, like, one of those things, it's antiquated at this point, but it's like he's behind him, and Wallace gives a big gulp, and it's like at this point it looks scary because it's wrapped itself, like it looks like a different beast now because it's like it's wrapped itself, and
Right.
like in different ways, and it
Yeah,
just
it's kinda got
looks.
like a mummy bent to it
Yeah,
now, right?
yeah.
And it's I think too, just to make it even scarier, right? He's got scissors, right? The the gloved hands are now menacingly wielding like multiple scissors in each hand.
Yeah, yeah.
This is
Um,
good.
and yeah, there's wrapping paper like coating the walls. Like it's like covering the floor. It's like the floor is soft and like malleable and like halfway up a door at this point. And it's like covering the walls. It's like a web. It's like a spider's web of like rolls just crisscrossing.
Yes.
At this point, um, maybe he jumps Wallace and Wallace has to like sort of get away. And that is when it is revealed. Um, Gromit, Gromit, and some of the Girl Scouts are going to save Wallace from the robot, and take him into a secret entrance into a tunnel system, which they had been, which they. I'm thinking Terminator 2, Terminator 1 flashback sequences to the future, resistance fighters. They've been fighting
Yeah.
a protracted guerrilla war with this thing for all afternoon.
I love it. I love
Um,
it. So there's a bunch of volunteers plus the mayor that got grabbed,
yeah, yeah,
but we're saying that there's this underground network tunnel
yeah,
that
yeah.
Gromit and the Girl Scouts have created.
Yes.
How do they snatch Wallace?
It's got to be something really bombastic, I should think, because I'm sort of angling towards something very funny. Um, so it's got to be something like so bizarre. Like I want the Girl Scouts to pull out a strange gizmo themselves that like sort of yoinks him, almost similar to his own inventions, except
Oh, yeah, like this big white hand this gloved hand comes out. We're like, "Oh no, it's the monster." And then it like grabs him and then quick yanks him under a trap door or something.
yeah, yeah, sort of mirroring. It yoinks him into the tunnels, sort of mirroring the hand that grabbed the phone in the opening and pulled it through the tunnels up to his room. Ooh.
Nice. Nice. I say we have a vocal leader of the Girl Scouts just for
I agree.
funsies
I
that
agree.
can be the inventor type that is kind of taking the charge here.
Well,
Um, Go
actually,
ahead.
the thing I was angling for the inventor thing for the Girl Scouts is that this is when we learn, and tell me if you don't like this. This is when we learn that the Girl Scouts aren't actually Girl Scouts. These are actually undercover elves from the North Pole that got sent here to help them finish the wrapping, which is why Wallace couldn't remember the town having a local chapter of Girl Scouts, because they've been using elf magic to basically come here and help people finish this wrapping incognito as a bunch of children, but in reality they're elves from the North Pole.
"What's all this then?" And then
But
there's like the Girl Scouts take off their hats, and underneath are in fact very pointy hats.
yeah, very
What?
yeah.
And shoes with bells on them, and then like Wallace rubs his eyes and can see that these are not young girls but young elf men.
Oh my god. Or elf women, it doesn't matter. But the
Oh
point
yeah,
is,
true, true, true.
I mean,
That
they're
that
elves. They're elves. You know, you can't tell the difference between a female elf and a
right.
male elf.
Right.
You know,
All the same.
Legolas has beautiful flowing hair.
True, true.
Um,
Okay, okay, awesome. So now Wallace and Gromit have entered the Santaverse, and we're like putting a Christmas Claus spin on this. Sorry,
but yeah,
Santa
no,
Claus.
yeah, at this point, they sort of bring him down. Um, that's when Gromit's down there with them. He's been helping. He's been trying to provide answers because they're trying to like ask him like what the inner mechanisms of the robot are, like how to stop it. And he's just been playing charades with them for like the past hour because he can't talk.
Yes,
But
yes,
but
yes.
they're elves and they're not really good at reading his body language like Wallace
Like
is.
Wallace is,
So
right,
he's
yeah.
been trying to help them, but
This is
they really
good.
can't.
Okay, so I like that these elves are here to help and they're doing the whole rapping thing. We gotta make them somehow incompetent. I like that they can't understand Gromit, that's good. And I maybe they're like ah, maybe they all kinda, like, talk in unison and they can't they're kinda like a mob. There's no individuality with them. They, like, all work together, and then they're all equally confused on many things. Um, because we still need to highlight, like, this is still Walt and Gromit. We
Oh
don't sorry,
yeah, yeah.
Wallace and Gromit. We don't wanna take away from them by, like, the Elvis being super awesome, and then they can invent all
Oh
this
yeah, no,
stuff.
for sure. They're
So
basically they're just holding a grudge because this was supposed to be a simple rapping job, and instead they're dealing with a monstrosity designed by this British man.
I like it. So then there's an element of, "Hey, we'll help you, but this is your problem."
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so, Gromit has been miming out, like, what the battle strategy is, but they have no idea. So then Wallace, like, puts a hand on his shoulder and says, "I think I've got it, lad," and then they're gonna factor something out. Should we then cut back to the robot and see the plan enacted?
Mm.
What do you think?
Um, yeah, no, I like that. I like that. Because yeah, obviously, I guess the weakness can be some sort of like it's got a battery in it or something. Something is powering it, and only Wallace has a uh uh a number three Phillips head screwdriver to get the panel open to access the battery or something like that.
Yeah,
Um,
I like the battery powered element. Of course, we're gonna have to do a twist on that. There's gonna be something that's gonna make it a little more oomph to it. But I like that they will go for the battery with the intent of like that will take it to shut it down.
oh yeah, no, I like that because maybe the elves are yeah, yeah. I like what you're saying. There's something else powering this thing that's not the battery, but we don't know yet. We
We
don't
don't know yet.
know.
We don't know yet. Could be Christmas cheer. Who knows?
I
Uh,
that's sort of what I was angling towards, but and basically it's being powered by Christmas cheer. And once the elves are super pissed at Wallace right now because he built this thing. But then once they realize that it's being powered by Christmas cheer, they're gonna sort of realize his heart was in the right place. So they're gonna make up whatever. That's what I'm angling towards. But
no, I think we got to go the full horror element. I think the Christmas cheer will be the friends we made along the way. Here we go.
but yeah, in any case, yeah, yeah, I like what you said. He says, "I think I got it, lad," and then we just cut to the robot again and see the plan enacted.
Yeah.
Um,
Robot is wrapping things, and what would be the escalation of wrap? Like has its life purpose run out?
no,
Um.
I feel like it's maybe just made a rat's nest. It's like a spider's web.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah. So it's wrapping over wrapping, right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, because everything's wrapped, which means nothing is wrapped, which means we got to keep wrapping. So it's just looping, right?
yeah,
And it
yeah.
continues to wrap and okay, got it. So then who would be the distraction? Obviously Wallace. I think it just makes sense. For Wallace to come like come like from the ceiling and like jump on this thing.
Or yeah, yeah. Maybe like yeah, maybe they wanna bring it outside so they can jump down from the roof on top of it. So
Oh.
maybe Gromit is disguised as, like, an old woman pushing a stroller,
Oh, yes. Okay, so much better, so much better. I love it.
and and
Uh,
and no, Gromit's the grandma pushing the stroller, and Wallace is actually in the stroller, or he's on top of the roof.
no, 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 no. I like this because okay, no, no, yes, this works. Uh, dang, that's so good. I want Wallace in the stroller because Wallace has such a baby face
It's
that
true.
having him with, like, the little baby clothes and the, like, I don't know, the the pacifier in his mouth is just too good to
Mhm.
pass up, and I love Gromit as an old woman. Okay, you know what? No. It's not gonna be Gromit that's pushing as an old woman, it's gonna be 2 elves in a trench coat that is
Mm,
pushing Wallace, and Wallace is in said stroller with a pacifier in his mouth, and then the robot is gonna lock onto it and say, like, there we, like, see it from its perspective, right, and it's got, like, the green film filter over it, and it says, "Unwrapped presents," and, like, locks in, and then we
yeah,
keep zooming into, like, Wallace's baby face.
perfect. So yeah, it steps outside,
All
and it
the whirring, bits and gadgets and, like, the arms are all moving. I think it's like it's made this way of transporting itself across the ground using the gloved hands and, like, grabbing parts of the building to move it closer, right? So it's gone full spider.
yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, very scary. It's gotten bigger. Maybe it's added arms to itself, made of wrapping paper.
That works.
Um, but yeah, it steps outside, and then yeah, maybe Gromit jumps down from the roof with the number 3 Phillips head screwdriver and goes to work.
Yeah, I think there's kind of a "No! No!" And as that Wallace and he, like I like that Wallace has been kind of cramped up in this baby stroller and now is
Yeah,
standing up at full height and pointing, just because that's a funny shot to me. And
yeah,
then Gromit, like, leaps off of the rooftop and jumps down and has the Phillips and is, like, basically stabbing, like, a dagger,
yep.
into the heart of the machine. Uh, but then what?
Well, I assume there's sort of a scuffle, but he gets all 4 screws out, he pops it open, and then he, like, yanks the battery out, and it, like, powers down, but then it powers back up again. What? What?
I just don't know how to make it power back on.
Well,
Mhm.
like I was saying, I think it should power back on because it's being powered by Christmas cheer.
I think we've got too much magic and myth going at the moment, Burger.
What do you mean? What do you
We
mean?
we've introduced elves, and this thing can't be powered by Christmas cheer. There's not enough Christmas cheer. Everything Christmas is ruined because of this awful machine has wrapped everything, and now we're not gonna be able to enjoy Christmas because my fireplace is wrapped, and so is my coffee mug, and my dog, my
Well, no,
car.
I feel we need it to be powered by Christmas cheer because obviously Wallace has ruined Christmas, but the elves and the town people and the mayor need to see that this thing was built for the right reasons. It's being powered by Christmas cheers because Wallace's heart was in the right place when he made it. So I feel like it needs to be powered by Christmas cheer because that's the only way everyone is going to forgive Wallace for ruining Christmas.
Think so it's battery powered, right?
Mhm.
But then maybe it was making enhancements that we didn't know about, right? And
Oh.
it's actually become a giant wood burning stove robot.
Oh, I like that. That's
And
cute.
so it starts eating wrapping paper, eating presents, and starts fueling itself until it
Ah.
can complete its mission of wrapping the world.
I like that. I like that. Um, so yeah, that means they need to stop it with by putting out the fire. That's the new.
That's the new thing, right? And so
Yeah.
it starts marching across the village, and it takes a tree that it wrapped and then, like, uproots it and, like, throws it into its mouth.
Yeah, yeah. I like that. So yeah, then so we got the battery. That didn't work. It's entered a new phase, a Dark Souls boss phase.
Yes.
It's now spouting smoke. It's got a fiery maw, very Balrog coated.
Yes, yep, exactly. And it's squatting there in the street, and it's just, it's continues wrapping things and feeding itself. Actually, maybe it's abandoned the idea of wrapping things at all. Now it has a new protocol, which is just to stay alive and cause destruction.
Mm.
It's now that it has no purpose. It's like the nihilist robot. Eat, drink, and be merry, for we don't know when this fire will die.
All right. So how are they going to stop it this time? Something involving snow?
Ooh, I like that.
Are they gonna confront it at like the ski slopes? Uh,
No, Burger. The answer is obvious.
yeah,
Of
what's that?
course, they have to wrap it.
Oh, cut off oxygen supply to the fire.
Absolutely, absolutely.
They've got to wrap its chimney stacks.
They have to cut it, yes, they gotta cut it off, they have to stop it from feeding itself, and then the fire shall die. Yep, I think that's exactly how they do it. So we get this kind of team montage with the elves grabbing tons and tons of wrapping paper, and stripping things from pre-existing gifts, right? And then maybe we get a few groups of them that are surrounding this beast, and they start throwing rolls of wrapping paper over, and then the other side catches it, and they begin pulling down and to in order to like pin down this monster.
Mhm.
Um, have we driven home the lesson that the Christmas is about people and like teamwork and stuff, or do we need more?
No, no, I think we got it. But I mean, I
Maybe
think
get
it
like a slow motion of one of those throws, and like Wallace looks over and there's Gromit, and like Gromit just kind of looks at him and maybe give him like a good old a sheepish thumbs up.
yeah. Well, because I feel like the ultimate lesson at the end of the day is, Wallace, you just needed to come yourself and wrap some with your hands. You didn't need to do all this.
Oh, that's it.
That's the reason
That's
you
it.
really got called. We just wanted to do it as a town. You didn't have to send this silly robot.
Silly robot. Not the silly robot. Yeah, you just need to come yourself. You need to volunteer. You need to be a friend, be a pal, be a neighbor, be
Yeah.
a good guy. And so yeah, I think Wallace gives him that thumbs up, which is like all the redemption anybody needs is thumbs up from their dog. Uh
And then, so yeah, I guess they wrap it down. It uses its scissors to try to get out, but then they wrap its arms down.
Yeah, good stuff, good stuff.
And then, yeah, it just sort of like sits there. And then they wrap it tight over the chimney to the point where it's so tight, the flames inside are no longer getting any oxygen.
Yep. Yep. And then yeah, I think the fire catches, but at this point, like the robot itself is not functional anymore. And so now it's just become this big bonfire. Like this big toasty bonfire
Oh.
in the middle of town square. And then we get some people coming out of their houses that have been wrapped, and we get the what's all this then? And then we get this lady come out and say like, oh my, and begins looking around at all of the lights that are differently colored. There's wrapping paper everywhere. It's like the entire world is new. And then we get huddled in the middle, a group of elves who put on their Girl Scout disguises again.
Yeah, yeah.
And then of course we get a shot of Wallace and Gromit with scarves and earmuffs and holding mugs of hot cocoa as they surround the giant Christmas bonfire. Oh, I think the robot's dead. It's just now this is like they're burning the corpse.
Oh, okay, okay, that makes sense. That tracks. I mean, yeah, I mean, obviously the robot is an affront to the elves' religion, so it's gotta get burned.
Yeah, they sing Kumbaya, and I think we get uh, what else can we add here? Is there any loose strings? Oh, I guess the mayor to say like next time just come yourself,
Yeah, yeah. We
right?
didn't we didn't
Something
want a
like that,
robot. We wanted you, Wallace.
right?
Ah.
And then of course Wallace ties us up with a bow by saying that lad is a rap. Ho ho ho. And then I think we get a shot of Santa and the reindeer in the background as like a silhouette across the sky, and
Mm,
then perhaps like a line is let down, and all of the Girl Scout slash elves jump on that, and they're like fly off.
yeah. I like that. I like that. That's very sweet.
Okay, do we get a post credits with Wallace and Gromit at their house? How do they celebrate? How do the Brits celebrate Christmas? Is this
Well, I
just
think
like
he just
Christmas hors d'oeuvres?
well, I think Wallace and Gromit are just gonna exchange gifts between themselves.
Oh, this is good. I
Yeah.
really like this. Tell me you have an idea for what they gift each other.
I mean, I assume that Gromit is just gonna get Wallace a very rare wheel of cheese. Um, and then I don't know, like Gromit maybe gets a sweater?
Wait,
No,
is Wallace into knitting? No,
no,
Gromit's
no,
into knitting.
Gromit's into knitting. Gromit would knit Wallace a sweater.
Yes,
And
with,
then
like, a big comic W, right?
maybe Wallace gets Gromit a very rare, expensive wheel of cheese because he doesn't really understand that not everyone likes cheese as much as he does, but it's the thought that counts.
Right, and then they have what are those, like, fireworky things? The Christmas crackers, right?
But yeah.
Maybe Wallace gets those confused for a second, I think could be funny,
Mm.
because he thinks they're cheese crackers and then, like, I don't know, lights up a firework on accident in his home. Um, that's very good. I do like the doorbell going off and then like, looking over to the front door, and there's, like, Wallace's family who all just looks like Wallace with varying amounts of hair. I like that because then Wallace has to not only because if we end on Wallace and Gromit just being Wallace and Gromit with there, like, he hasn't really learned his lesson of being
Mm,
in community and, like, being with people. So,
yeah.
like, now he has to put up with relatives, I think is very funny to me.
Yeah, that's a good ender.
Very good. Well, if your name just happens to be Oliver, I would like to wish you Merry Christmas and thanks for listening. And for everybody not named Oliver, Merry Christmas and thanks for listening. All right, thanks. See you guys.